It's an important source of training and skills, for example. Many of the people working in heritage conservation are actually volunteers, big, large volunteer people, and these people pick up useful skills. There's also initiatives such as the Heritage Apprenticeship Program, which allows young people to get particular skills in building, for example. So all these benefits are cumulative, they all build up, and they also contribute through public investment in the sector in economic regeneration as well, which also extends the benefits of the conservation of historic buildings to the wider environment, the wider setting in which they might be established, but I'll describe that in a moment. Now, economic terms, if we want to do it in economic terms, we could describe some of those benefits as being direct use benefits, that's benefits to individuals through visits, etc., for tourism and construction. These are the direct benefits to the sector. But there's also indirect benefits, such as social interaction, that David was describing, for example, where you have attractive historic areas that bring people together and also induce spending in the local environment. And non-use, what we call non-use benefits, which is the sense of identity, appreciation of cultural heritage, irrespective of whether people visit that heritage or not. And very important in Northern Ireland, what we would describe as option value. That is the value of preserving this heritage for the future. Because you can imagine, just with the pure example of tourism alone, it has such a value now, but you know that, well, if it's protected and looked after, and the economy and the society continues to develop and improve, that these heritage features are going to be worth much more in the future than they are now. And this is what in economic terms we describe as an option value. So to provide some examples of that, I mean, in terms of sense of identity, we could, for example, have the Belfast shipyards. Not only are they important for the people of Belfast itself, but they're an internationally recognised icon that helps to promote Belfast across the world, and it's also now part of the Titanic signature project as well. The Derry Wars, obviously a feature celebrated by one particular community, but also a fundamental element of the city's shared identity. Dunluce Castle, or the Carrick-a-Reid Road Bridge, almost identifiable with the Causeway coast as the Giant's Causeway itself. And the two cathedrals of Armagh, the shared ecclesiastical capital of Ireland. In terms of community capacity, you can find examples from the restoration of the First Derry Presbyterian Church and the Playhouse Theatre in Belfast, now opened as multicultural and cross-community centres. Access and learning, you'd have examples such as the Armagh Observatory and Planetarium, the only one in Ireland, and the Navan Centre's exhibition on Ireland's Celtic heritage, located on the site of a major hill fort of really unknown, of Iron Age origins, but rather unknown purpose, a major development there. And the success of sites such as the Navan Centre as family destinations is essentially is confirmation that heritage doesn't have to be sort of compulsory or dull, but it can also be fun and interesting for people. And on top of that, you have the benefits that the heritage provides in terms of regeneration as well. For example, the restoration of Belfast Cathedral Quarter, centred on St Anne's Cathedral and the Merchant Hotel, or the former Ebrington Barracks in Derry, now linked to the city by a very impressive peace bridge. Or of the renovation of Armagh Jail, which is planned to become a boutique hotel and a heritage and learning centre. I presume in the future it would look a little bit more attractive place to stay than the picture at the bottom there, but I think that'll be quite fun. But it also demonstrates how things have kind of moved on, because the Armagh Jail, for example, only closed in about 1988. It's really not that very long ago. The fact that you could retain this heritage and potentially at the same time turn it into a useful economic and social asset is really quite exciting, I feel. So these are the wider economic and social benefits, which are founded on the benefits, if in the first instance, of individual well-being, which could be demonstrated, for example, through visits and what you might be willing to pay in terms of entrance fees, but also the benefits to you personally through the appreciation of that heritage and through the shared appreciation that you experience with others as part of your community. There's also the additional public good benefits which I've described, the sense of identity, belonging, sense of place, community cohesion, participation, and developing confidence within the community so that you have indigenous enterprise development. People start restoring their own homes, their own businesses, investing in their community. If they're proud of the community in which they live, then these returns sort of come naturally. And these public benefits in turn provide an environment for investment by government. Local authorities, entrepreneurs, and individual property owners are described. In this environment, there's a stimulating role for public investment in headline projects and major investment in urban regeneration, providing for the regeneration of whole communities and whole historic districts, which in turn attracts social activity to areas, ensuring that heritage, at one level at least, will be appreciated by many more people than could possibly be attracted to an art gallery or to a museum. So you can see that it's really it's a cumulative process. Really, you're starting off with a heritage conservation and appreciation, leading to benefits in terms of sense of place, community participation, community cohesion, and greater confidence within the community and its future. And this can attract and be stimulated by public investment, which in turn stimulates expenditure by local property owners and entrepreneurs and larger private investment. So it's all these types of, it's this process really which then creates an environment in which you have the tourism benefit, because tourists are then attracted to such places, and the expenditure as well in the whole construction sector, the benefits that regeneration and restoration of these places provides for the construction sector. So in actual fact, when we're looking at the more tangible economic benefits, like construction benefits and the tourism benefits, we're always talking about tourism and added benefits to tourism, we often forget ourselves. These are at the end of the process. It's really a virtuous circle whereby you're starting off with investment in the community, but the community itself, improving that community's confidence and sense of identity, and that in turn ensures that you have the tourism benefits and the investment in construction. So by way of conclusion, you have a significant economic contribution for the historic environment, firstly through individual well-being, the benefits that we receive from the historic environment, the wider social and economic benefits that I've described, the stimulus to economic activity and to economic regeneration, and then following on from that, the benefits for tourism and for construction industry, etc. Okay, thank you very much.